Great Rod isn't, y'all. Great Rod isn't.
Come walk with me and see your feet and toes.
Yeah, the chair.
I said, come walk with me.
Get your mat.
Save your feet and toes.
Line up if you're walking wall to wall.
Cause if I stop walking
Ha
now,
ha ha.
cut me up until
Start your treadmill. Jump on your bike.
yeah. Come walk with me and save your toes and feet.
Yes.
Yeah, I said,
Hey.
come walk with me.
Hey, y'all get this song? Go to iMusic, iTunes, Spotify.
Cause when you walk with me,
Hey, that's that old gospel clap, y'all.
I'm walking y'all. Trying to see my feet and toes. I said I'm walking now.
Yeah.
Trying to see my feet and toes. Cause if I stop walking now,
Hey, let's get ready.
cut me up
Yeah.
until
Me and my cousins, we used to sit in that cult and we used to have clapping contests, out clapping each other. Yeah. Who can keep the beat going? Oh, great ride isn't, y'all. Thanks for coming on the walk. I'm sore, y'all. Let me do this camera. Ooh. I am some kind of sore, y'all. I am totally sore. I am so sore. Can you see my arm? I am so sore because I got on the floor and did 30 minutes of stretching everything that I could stretch. And it was a little painful while doing it. Well, it was a hell of a lot more painful after it was done. Whoo, sister on fire. Sister on fire. Let me put this to eat. Sister on fire. Yes, thanks for coming on the walk. Like, comment, share. I don't like this. I don't think y'all can see my feet. Like, comment, share, tell auntie, tell a cousin, tell a friend, subscribe. Yes. Y'all, I was thinking about this family thing. Oh, let me tell you something. You know how we look at everything. This is why I was taught in my philosophy class, Knoxville College. We did Plato's Republic. And it's where you took how honest and how true and how everything like a community or a nation is, but you bring it down to the final thing, like look at the individual, you know. So that's what I've been doing along to get y'all to realize that this is a penal colony. I ask you to go and look at the brick and mortar prisons and the comparison to it. Like, here's one example. You remember in the fiction story Roots? If you read it, it's not a biography, it's not a nonfiction, it's a fiction book. And you saw Lizzie crying when they took the baby away, and you felt so bad because she was enslaved and they were taking her baby. Not the case. Years and years and years ago, Lizzie's ancestors, the fictitious Lizzie, let me get a real Lizzie. A long time ago, Harriet Tubman's mother, or the mother's mother, and the mother's mother, was brought over here as prisoner of war of the crowns of Europe. Africa ain't that far from Europe. Anyway, went over there, Africans from all the nations, Ethiopia, this Ghana, of course the Moors, how can you forget, they were the first to go over there fucking around with Europe, and quite a few more. But then the tides changed, as they often do, and the Africans found themselves on the losing side of their beef with Europe. And all the crowns got together, Europe, George, Louis, all of them, France, Portuguese, Spain, they all got together. And when the tides turned for Harriet Tubman, ergo my ancestors, they were sent to this penal colony. They weren't sending them back to Africa, they wasn't keeping them in Europe because it was too close. All the supplies came from Africa. So they started putting them in penal colonies around the globe. So, now, you got that. Let's go back to the brick and mortar prison. When a woman goes into the brick and mortar prison, if she's pregnant, she can't keep her child. She can't. Now, I've heard, because my daughter makes me look at those prison things on Netflix, Prime, and all that kind of stuff, I stopped. But for a while, she had me going. But I was very uncomfortable because I kept saying, and the difference is? So, you can't keep your kids. And in the brick and mortar prisons, they move prisoners around all the time. That's the problem. If your son is arrested in Wichita, Kansas, there's a chance that he could be doing his time down in Florida because they call it swapping prisoners. That's in the brick and mortar. Now come on out to this penal colony. And they were doing the same. When you have a child, you can't keep it. You can't keep it on the brick and mortar prisons, and you couldn't keep it back in enslavement days. But this is still a penal colony. The chains are gone, but the rules are still there. But I'm losing my point. What I'm trying to say is, we were all like, oh, they're enslaved, crying, taking the baby. They do it in jail all the time. And our ancestors were treated as slaves, and we are labeled born and blood inmate criminals. But that's why, to reference the fiction book by Alex Haley, why Lizzie or whoever was crying when the baby was taken, you can't keep your baby in prison. You can't. So now you understand that part. On the penal colony, back in enslavement days, you couldn't keep your baby. And the reason why you didn't get married, let's go back to the brick and mortar prisons, they don't get married. I mean, they can get married now, but there was a time they couldn't get married. Come back out to the penal colony. During enslavement times, couldn't get married. Because you are labeled a criminal. Though you didn't commit any crime, you're on a penal colony. You were born on it. You were born to it. So during enslavement time, when you had a baby, you couldn't keep it. Because you were basically imprisoned. the baby had to go to somebody else to be cared for. Let's go to the brick and mortar prisons. Have a baby, you can't keep it. If family don't come get it, it goes to the state. Now do you understand you live on penal colony? So let's talk family. In the brick and mortar prisons, from what I've heard, they always said the best way to make it and to do your time is to keep your head down and mind your business. So, like if you're in prison and you decide to go to school, take classes, okay? You'll meet people in your class. After that, you can't meet up no more, you can't do none of those things. It's prison. And if you do meet up, there's a good chance there's going to be trouble involved. Because, like in the brick and mortar prison on this penal colony, go back. Because George Bush, or was it W, enforced it. Whoever was at 9/11, they enforced it. Where no more than 3 people could be on the street. Go read your newspapers. Go look. That's penal colony law. So, that's why when you're in prison, you can group up if you want to, but trouble, trouble, trouble. They said if you want to make it through, keep your head down, mind your business, and do your work. On the penal colony, you cluster together, like these young boys in gangs, it's trouble. Same thing. Out here on the penal colony, keep your head down, mind your business, do your work, and you'll make it. But where the messed up stuff comes in at is when these cults are involved. Okay, I was upstairs. I had the whole thing planned out for you. Explain that. I am a bastard. My mother and father weren't married. And it's Hatfield-McCoy bullshit. It makes no sense. It's Hatfield-McCoy bullshit. It makes no sense. During enslavement time, yeah, everybody born was considered bastards. And that's a cult term. That's a cult term. C-U-L-T term. You call them churches, you call them religion, you can call shit whatever you want to. There's a man in charge. You gotta bow down and kiss his ass. He's the only one that talks to God, etc., etc., etc. Cult. And that one religion used to have him sucking your little baby's dick before the baby is even out the womb. Okay? Cults. C-U-L-T-S. Okay. So, when I went down south, when I was born up here, we were basically my 2 sisters, bastards too. My mother didn't marry their dads. But on this penal colony, this is how I wanted to start out. Stop complaining like we never get together, black folks will never get together, we'll never group. No, we won't on this penal colony. It's not meant for us to. Now I can bring in that George Bush law about 3 or more gathering. It doesn't work out good on this penal colony like the brick and mortar prisons. So no, we're never going to get together. This is a penal colony. Even if we want to fight the penal colony, we have to do it as individuals. And collectively we will come together as an individual. Like if you digging in one spot and I'm digging in another spot and somebody else digging in another spot and so on and so forth, eventually we can dig out a whole crater. And some of us getting together. Get rid of that premise. Get rid of that idea. That's bullshit. No, we don't have to work together. We have to work individually. This is a penal colony. How can I use it? In the brick and mortar prison, when a prisoner wants to get out, he starts by himself. He starts scraping out the cement, or if he's pulling up he starts by himself. At night, alone, by himself. By himself, no one else. It's when he breaks through that wall or that gate, and he looks over and he sees somebody else breaking through where they are, that's when they come collectively together. On this penal colony, this is the same way you have to operate. No. Being together and doing anything is never going to work for us on this penal colony. There's laws against it. Penal colony? Yes. 15 minutes over in no time. Let's take a little break, y'all. And I think I'm putting up some though. I think I'm loosening. Cause if I stop walking now, it fuck me up until just the nose. Yeah. Come on with me. And say, yeah. Maestro Ron Jackson and yours truly. Y'all go hit a like and do something, even on YouTube. Help a sister out. But I can appreciate y'all not liking the sister, so. You only help people you like. I'm working, y'all. Yeah. Trying to see. Yeah. I said I'm working now. Yeah. Trying to see. Yeah. Cause if I stop walking now, they'll cut me up until I'm just a nose. The fantastic Ron Jackson on guitar, honey. Yes, indeed do. Yes, indeed do. Whew. Let's start this second half. So, though we were all in East New York, like I said, I have two sisters who also my mother didn't marry their father. But it was different because they were light-skinned and I was dark-skinned. So they were less of a bastard. According to religion, penal colony rules, they were less of a bastard than I was. I was very dark. I'm old now. That's the only reason why I'm lightening up. But it wasn't always like that. And so that's when it doesn't matter who, even, basically kids who came from both parents, they like to run around calling us bastards. But within our own group of bastards, it was broken down into light skin and dark skin. So I was dark skin. My father's a Geechee. I'm a Geechee. He hated it, Grammy hated it, but we be Geechees. South Carolina, Guatemala. Oh, what's that one with the Murdochs? They kept mentioning it all the time, and I was like, boy, so many family I got buried out there. It's not Guatemala. Oh, I can't think of that other one. Anyway. So that's the separation of family. So though I didn't do anything, I didn't have to be anything. That's just how it was when I got here. So until my cousin Leroy came, then he was darker than me, then he could pick up the slack. So his mother and father were married, so he wasn't a bastard, so he was just darker than me. And that's penal colony thing. That's how it goes. Don't get mad. It's in this mass of land. That's what it's ruled by. So, and all the time I'm like, what is this? So you really can't love, you really can't do anything, but this is a penal colony, and that's why you can't. You're not meant to stay together. Because, anyway, let me just go on. So, I get down south. In Colt, they call it the Bible Belt. No, it's the Colt Belt. Colts rule this penal colony. Okay? It's a necessary part because it separates. And it fills jails, just like guns do. So it's a necessity. They ain't really putting out the statistics about how many of these cold people running out these brick and mortar prisons, and don't change nothing for them. Doesn't. When they come out of jail, they still can't get a job. No matter how much praying they get. Oh, they get prayed to get out. Okay, they got out. You're back right in. But week or two. Because you ain't prayed you up a job when you came out. Anyway, getting off topic. So, when I went down there, I was also a northerner. So I got these cousins down there, and my aunt's children, and though my aunts would be like rag dolls by their husband, they remained married to them until after they had their kids. So I went down there. I was a bastard from New York. My father's bastard, my father's mistake. And I never fought so much in my entire life. Even my entire adult life. 40 years of adult life. Maybe one scrap. I'm the violence. But when I went down there to family, every day, they tore up my books, they tore up my clothes, they broke my... Every day. Why? Because I'm a bastard. And their parents were married. So they're much higher grade than I am. Then also I came from the north, and they're in the south. I know, I'm on this penal colony. It doesn't make sense. That's why you know it's a penal colony. It has no rhyme or reason to it. So, and I want to get this out real quick. Stop sending your kids down south. When you say they're being bad, you're going to send them down south. Let me tell you what they do to bad kids that you send down south. They incest them. They rape them. They beat them. They treat them like crap. Because you sent the message that they're out of control or they're whatever. Y'all need to stop. Anyway, so I got down there, But every time I went to that Southern Baptist cult, they kept talking family and loving family and being with family and family. And after that service, I'd go home and have this fight like if I was on the streets of Harlem. And you said these was my family, my blood kin. Well, let me give you all a scoop. Bullshit. Family in the cult world means the cult family. The cult family. And why does it mean the cult family? Because it's for manipulation purposes. If your sister doesn't come to this cult group, you stop talking to her. If your mother doesn't come to this cult group, you stop talking to her. If your mother doesn't do what the cult leaders say, you, what do they call it? Banish, shun. You shun them. They never teach about family life because I want to tell you something. If they taught family, they wouldn't have your ass sitting in church for 3 hours. You'd be home with your family. You see the bullshit right there? If it was about family, not control, it's about family, on this penal colony, it would be taught individuality. Because only as individuals will we ever come together as a strong force. And you can't see that. This is how the penal colony is set up. If we ever try to group, ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. You see what happened? Let's go back into the brick and mortar prisons. You see what happened when they group in the brick and mortar prisons? A fight breaks out. Riot breaks out. Gang things are going on. Let's come back on the penal colony. First time I ever stole anything, my cousins took me to do it. Family. Penal colony family. Ain't no family. There's no family. When you get together, it's intended that you do not advancement, not nothing to advance yourself. No. Family in this cult penal colony means you call them the church. I call them the cult. You call it the temple. I call it the cult. You call it the synagogue. I call it the cult. They don't believe in family. Only the cult family. Reverend at the head. Assistant reverend next. Deaconess or whatever it is, elder board, whatever. And then congregants. That's what the cult says is your church. And that's why you take your children and you sit them there, their family, sorry. That's what the cults call your family. And you take your son and you sit him there and you teach him how to treat their mother and women like crap. But it's okay. It's your family. You take them to your family and they talk crap about you. The church. Remember, church is family. That's when I heard all that family stuff from. I'm wise enough now to know that's a manipulation tool. Oh, you'll pay us, says the cult. You'll give us your money, says the cult. If not, we'll kick out your children. And they'll never be able to talk to you, or you'll never be. You see? On this penal colony, advancement is through the individual. Stop African Americans. Stop looking to group. Do yourself stuff individually, and individuals like you will come together in manifestation. Do you know how many times I tried to get people to exercise with me? Family, oh, please. They give me the look like, don't even come over this way. But if the cult did a walk, they'd be there. Okay? And you say, well, why did you go to the cult walk? And I ask you, sister, I ask you, brother, to walk with me, and you said no. But you're doing the cult walk, or the walk with the cult. And they'll tell you, because the cult is my family. On this penal colony, if we as African Americans are ever going to get anywhere, individuality, no coming together. Let's go back to the brick and mortar prisons. How could that work out for you? When you get into the play yard or whatever that thing is, where they let them out to be free. Look at the prison movies, they show you. They be watching them because they know they're up to something. And then they'll start doing everything to divide you. Leave the penal colony, leave the brick and mortar prison and come back to this penal colony. And say, Black Wall Street. Tuck in your elbows. 5. Neither up nor down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good luck. Yep. You're not going to make it as a group. There's nothing that we can do as a group. Stop falling for the cult bullshit. When we group, they advance. When we group, it's better for them. When we work individually, it's better for us on this penal colony. Tuck in your elbow. Neither up nor down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, good luck. On this penal colony, honey. On this penal colony, family is the cult. Family is the cult, not the individual. I can't remember ever going to the park with my grandmother, but we was always at church. I can't remember ever going to the beach with her, but we was always at church. I don't remember taking a walk around the corner. I do remember one time walking across the street to the bus stop, getting on the bus coming back. I think we did that like twice. because everything was in church. You weren't her family until you were the church family. So do you understand? That's why when you say, oh, I don't believe in your cult no more, you ain't got no family. They didn't love you for you and because they gave you birth and because you were... No. They loved you for how you fit into the cult. Oh, I bring my children every Sunday. That's what they mean. Would you take them and read a book to them or take them and do anything? No, That's not family. That's not family time. That's not family according to the cults. Family time according to the cults has everything to do with the cults. But really in nature, some animal species group together and some separate right away. But in a crisis come together. To this day, because my family is heavy in the cults. And that's why I had to decide to say, no, I'll lose y'all, but I can't keep this charade up. No. Family to me is growing. Helping one another to grow or to get through this human experience. You're with each other to uplift each other. But other than that, you're an individual unto yourself. Okay. My girlfriend Pat that I met, closer than any family member. First of all, I'm not a bastard to her. So that's one good thing. The second thing is that she was an individual and I was an individual. She wasn't like, okay. She needed an apartment. I needed a job. Together, I got the apartment. She got the apartment, I got the job. Then we lived individually. She had a house. We would meet back up. We'd hang out a little bit, and then we'd go back and get back into our own life. That's how you succeed on this penal colony. No, that fear, if you're in a group, it's better in a group. No, maybe in countries, but not on this penal colony. Because they judge you by the group you keep. And being a born inmate criminal, for us to group Wall Street, that's another thing you get wrong. Black Wall Street, Rosewood, Elaine. They didn't know they were on a penal colony. You can't have towns on a penal colony, especially if the reason why the penal colony is your ancestors 600 years ago. Our ancestors fought against crowns of Europe, Audible, brought here, in prison, then enslaved. This place was meant for us. I hear people say, well, why they always say everything in this country got to do with blacks? Asshole, it's a penal colony. That's why it has everything to do with us. Because our ancestors is the reason for the penal colony. So no, that don't work for us. Stop trying to get together. I'm going to the library to get a book. If you go to the library to get your own book, whatever, and we say hi and pass in there, that's good. That's enough. But we're the reason for this penal colony. So when we group, it doesn't work for us. Individually, we can do it. Individually, like I take my 2 imaginary drones up. We was in South Carolina, tearing up them cornfields and shit out there. Yes, I was. I had Patroller dropping her petrol, and I had Sparky coming back and lighting it up, and whoosh! Individual. That is the only way that works here. Brick and mortar prison, penal colony. So when y'all get upset, oh, they took Lizzie's baby. Roots from Alex here. Oh, they took Lizzie's baby. No. They take Lizzie's babies on the brick and mortar prisons all the time. You cannot keep children if you're a prisoner. And back in the day, call it enslavement and prison. You know, Hatfield and McCoy bullshit. They were in prison. No, they couldn't understand. Why are you taking my baby? I never broke the law. I never killed anybody. Your ancestors were brought here as prisoners, and every generation or every child that they have is considered or labeled inmate prisoner. So that's why the kids were taken away from them. And you want to know another one. Why? I can't have a husband. Every year, all the history goes, oh. Every time, we get together, and then they come and they take the slaves and they move them around. Let's look at the brick and mortar prisons. Yes. They move prisoners around all the time. You may be arrested in Massachusetts, but you may end up in New Mexico because they rotate prisons all the time. Sometimes they get close and group. Then they move them around. Come out in the penal colony, look back at enslavement days. Same deal. Move them around. They sent them down south. They sent them to Louisiana. They sent them to the heart of the... Exactly. But you didn't understand because you never broke the law, but it doesn't matter. What? They just turned the dog to eat this driver up. And what did he do? A traffic law? He didn't understand. He's already a labeled inmate criminal. So when he broke that traffic law, it was 2 strikes against him. Born inmate criminal who broke a traffic law. That is a killable offense on this penal colony, and you just ain't seeing it. I want to get my car engine fixed. Listen. They supposed to be having some programs for old people. I want to go there and say, listen, hand me some cash so I can get my car fixed. But then on the other hand, I said, oof, if I'm in that car, that patty roller can drag my ass out and stomp me, because that's be my 2nd strike. 1st strike, label inmate criminal in the car. I say if I don't catch a light, go through a light. It's 2 strikes. That gives that patty roller every right to snatch my ass out that car and stomp me. Now, don't give it to white people. If it's a white person, they are not labeled inmate criminal. They just free. But me, so, things coming on the wall. You know, they just free. But me, I'm an inmate criminal. So I already got that 1 strike. Though I never did nothing. But 600 years ago, our ancestors were brought to these penal colonies as prisoners of war of the crowns of Europe. And to this day, today, we're still labeled blood and born inmate criminals, though we never committed crime. Got 2 tickets in my life, but still, I got 1 strike. Birth, inmate criminals. Our ancestors were born here, prisoner war of the crowns of Europe. This penal colony, because you see, they didn't get rid of the crown, because if they got rid of the crown, our ancestors would have been free back in 1776. Well, they can tell them lies. Like Columbus found America. They can tell them lies. So, stop saying, oh, black people can't get together. No, we can't. Now let's work from that point. As the individual, I started a corporation with family. I did everything. African American theme park. I did everything to make sure we met once a month so I can have our logs where we can have everything. So we can be incorporated. My good friend, the executive secretary, they had her come do the notes and everything. We was there. We was right there. Didn't happen. Well, at my sisters, everybody's went to the same cult. They was all in the same cult. And at that time, the cult leader's wife got mad at him for his 30th child being born in the congregation. She just got mad. And then I couldn't get the family to make any more meetings because they had to go to the cult leader's wife to help the cult leader's wife. So they're sorry, Vicki. I'm like, y'all don't even understand how big this money is. What if Disney sees it and says, listen, this could be something, let us buy it from you? What if they'd have bought us for a couple of $1 million? We had it. No, honey. They had to be with the cult leader's wife who started her own cult because the cult broke in half. So my family, who did a year, and us being a board of directors of African and American theme park, just when we did our full year, we was going to hit the bank. I looked at land, hit. Their cult leader had his 50th child out the congregation. And his wife just could not take it anymore. And my whole family walked out on the corporation of African American theme park. So you see, I just learned to go as an individual. I'll tell you about tomorrow. I started a telemarketing company. Anyway, I'll tell you about that tomorrow. But no, so stop saying, oh, we can't get along. We're never going to get... No, we're not. Do your shit yourself. As an individual, do your shit yourself. Then stop looking for that collective stuff. That collective stuff is only in these cults. Because the cult leader wants your money and wants to use your family. My grandmother, when I did stop going to her cult, I went to another cult. I was like, but ain't y'all all just talking about Jesus? Oh, no. That's when I found out it was cults. They're not the true ones. Who the hell is the true ones? The whole damn thing is a lie. Where is the truth? Do yourself the individual. Do your own stuff. Do it by yourself. Hire people. Find people of the like mind. Because believe it or not, you're still an individual. And that's how you succeed on this penal colony. Stop this family shit. No. I've never been treated like a family member. Never. I've been treated like the bastard. I've been treated like the blackest one in the family. But I ain't never been treated or the one that just does everything for everyone. And that's why I was treated so bad, because I was supposed to try harder. Well, if you shine my shoes, I won't hate you so much as a bastard. Well, if you take your tongue and lick my butt, I'll let you be my sister because you ain't a bastard. You know, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing all this shit to be with y'all. Y'all see where I'm walking? Y'all see this exercise? Y'all see this water I'm trying to get down? See, I'm not sweating. It's taking me a while to get this water down. On a hot, sweaty day, I would whoosh. All right? This body, this is my family. This is my family. We are family. I got my toes and my knees, elbow, eyes, and neck, heart and lungs, liver, pancreas, muscles, veins and skin, and a wonderful gray mat up here. We are family. I got all my family with me. So stop the foolishness. This is a penal colony. No, it's not meant for us to be together and get together. But working as individuals, we can succeed. Harriet Tubman was an individual. Denmark Vesey was an individual. Nat Turner was an individual. Sojourner Truth, an individual. Rap Brown, when he was talking, Burn Baby Burn was an individual. Now he with a cult. He all Muslim smelling butts and everything. Now he... But that's what these cults are put on this penal colony for. Just like the cults are allowed in the brick and mortar prisons. No, do your individual thing. The like minds will come together. You like to paint. You go into a forest. You sitting there painting. Someone else, you look over. Somebody else has set up. They painting too. And you may look across the river. You see somebody else there sitting. Collectively you're painting, but individually you got to the point of the paint, and that's what we African Americans got to get in our head. No, we will not get together and do nothing. It's not meant to happen on this penal colony. But as individuals, they can see this bitch blazing from the space planet. Please. So stop it. Black people ain't never gonna get that. No, we're not. You're right. You're right. This is a penal colony. It is not meant to happen. Y'all like the people in the brick and mortar prison. These prisons ain't never gonna get together and stop this. No, you're not. You're in individual cages. You're in individual cages. You are not gonna get together. But by yourself, if you want to get out, you can start scraping that wall. You can start cutting through the bars. As an individual, we can never fight this penal colony as a collective. It doesn't work. It doesn't work in the vote. I've been voting since I was 19. Every advance that we have, I have seen disappear. And they said if you vote, you change things. Far as I can see, it changed it for the worse. Individually, if you do your own thing on this penal colony, it would be better for all of us. Stop looking for the collective. Stop looking for the game. Do your own thing. Focus on your progress. This is family. Heart, lungs, and teeth. This is family. All of my thighs and knees. Elbow, elbow, elbow. That is family. Here on this penal colony. And that's how we'll advance. But everything is set up on this penal colony that we do not become a collective. Not an occult, yes. All the sheeps together. Duty here, P here, been here. They don't mind that type. That's why you have to have a cult leader. They accept that. Oh, okay, you just following the cult leader. That's good. But for any kind of advancement for us, since this is the reason the penal colony our ancestors are, any kind of advancement for us does not come from the collective. It comes from the individual. It's your thing. Do what you want to do. Y'all know what I'm talking about. If I had not been under that cult delusion and that fallacy of family, I would have done African's American theme park by myself. Disney would have bought me out. But I was under the delusion of family. But no. Not for us on this penal colony. Only as individuals will we succeed. Only as individual will we put these Hatfields and McCoys. See, like say, I'm out taking my imaginary drones up, Patroller and Sparky. Just by myself. Every time them fucking Hatfields and McCoy do some fuck shit, I just say, you know what, I'm sick of this. Take Patroller, Sparky out. Next thing you know, in another state, somebody is taking out their Patroller and their Sparky. We don't know each other. We didn't connect together, but our frustration and anger and the fact that we need to change made us move as an individual. And then you find once we move as individuals, we are moving together. Now I know there's a lot of Hatfields and McCoy out there and Douglas, but I hope the rest of y'all get what I'm saying. Stop looking for that. You want to make dresses and have a dress company. Do it yourself. You learn from the like minds. So when you go to them and say, I really want to start that company. You did that company by yourself? I want to do a company by myself. And they'll say, yo man, I did so-and-so and so-and-so. You say I did it. That's it. Then you go and you start your company separate. You don't need no family. That is the recipe for failure on this penal colony. That only works for the cults that want to manipulate you. Well, if your daughter leave, you can't speak to them no more because they ain't with the cult. I guess what I'm trying to say is that family stuff, it don't get you up. It keep you down. African Americans, don't feel guilty. Get old enough, pack your shit up, leave your family, do your own thing. If the family is doing their thing here and you doing your thing there, eventually, if y'all keep doing your thing, you're going to meet up because y'all doing the thing. But no, not on this penal colony, honey. So stop looking for it. I don't want to hear it no more. We're not going to get together. Brick and mortar prison. Collective. Go back. Look at the law. There's laws in the book. George Bush pulled it out when 9/11 or some shit like that. How you couldn't meet 2 or 3 on the street. This penal colony is not set up for us to work as a collective. We are more powerful as individual forces. Collective, Carter Wilson said, so is a man taught, so shall he think. But as an individual, you create. See? Create. So no. Leave that collective and all that family shit to the cults, because that's their thing. That's their manipulative tool. Nature says survival to the individual. A baby wants to suck. That mother can put that teeth in that baby's mouth all it wants to. If it does not want to suck, it will not. Nothing she can do. Nothing no family member can do. Nothing no cult leader can do. But when that baby wants to suck on that teeth, he will suck and suck and suck and suck, and no one can stop him unless you move teeth. You get what I'm saying, right? African Americans, if we're going to advance, skip the collective. Stop joining them Black Greeks, HBCU, Black Greeks. They're all collective. There are no individual thinkers. And on this penal colony collective group, because on this penal colony as a group, you're set up to fail. But as an individual, you can succeed. Hey, y'all, I didn't finish my water. Ain't that hot? Ooh. Like, comment, share. Tell an uncle, tell an auntie, tell a cousin, tell a friend. Collective, y'all. Cults use that group stuff. Oh, husband is so important. Oh, the wife is so important. Well, I want to leave this cult. Well, if she leaves the cult, then you can't talk to her anymore. But we're married. It doesn't matter. So you see, family is that cult bullshit. On this penal colony, to succeed and to have the patty rollers to stop blowing our kids' brains out for something our ancestors did some 600 years ago, it has to be individual. Excuse me. On the individual. Stop trying to meet up. Stop trying to click up. It doesn't work on this penal colony. All right. Like, comment, share, tell an uncle, tell an auntie, tell a cousin, tell a friend. Subscribe. Coming to you live and in charge. Loud, live, and in charge from this penal colony. See you tomorrow. Thanks for coming on the walk. Have a great day. Thanks for coming on the walk. Have a great day.